Oh, happy anniversary. Hope you did something. You got to celebrate these anniversaries, the years.
Hello,
So it
Tima.
took us, how long did it take us to get there? An hour and a half?
Yeah, yeah.
An hour and a half. So not too
Hello,
bad.
Tube.
Hey, Arikel, welcome back.
Is she on?
Hi, Pamela. Yeah, she's handmade by Ari.
Oh, right. Okay. I see.
Hello,
Okay.
everyone.
Right. We're going to get cracking in a few seconds.
Hello, welcome. Hope you've had, for those just joining, hope you've had a good weekend. We've had a good weekend. It's been a bit relaxing, should I say?
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those where, you got the kids doing what they want to do.
Yes.
And yeah, it's good. Hi,
Hello.
Mrs.
Hi, Sister MC.
Kusaga.
Yeah.
Right?
Over the weekend, I did more, should I say, walking than I've done for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
You need to do more of that.
I do. Where is the blue sofa? It's behind. We're sitting on it. See, so that people can see the blue sofa at the beginning, we show it.
Yeah.
Before we kind of sit on it.
Hey, Faith. Oh, this time you're on YouTube, Faith.
Hi,
Good to see you.
Faith. You can only see the curtain.
Yeah, no.
But some people say it doesn't look blue, that it looks black, but it is navy blue.
Yeah.
It's
It
a navy
is
blue
definitely
sofa.
blue sofa, leather sofa.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so welcome everyone.
Yeah.
Hello everyone on YouTube and on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. So I don't know. Did anybody get to see there was a video that was making the rounds about this very successful Nigerian entrepreneur, actually a businessman, who said that at the time he was dating. Well, I'm not even sure what stage he was at, but at least pursuing is now his wife, that our uncle shot at him 3 times.
Shot at him?
Yeah. And and I thought to myself, wow, if that was me, I imagine going to Fumi's dad's house and he decides to shoot me. Even not even going as far as shooting. If he brings out a knife or something, and I know he won't do that. I don't know whether I'll go back there again.
So he did say that he didn't have any money at the time, and his wife was of the upper class, so her family basically didn't want him to get involved with her at all.
Yeah.
So he was pursuing, but maybe they thought that, well, he wasn't good enough. He didn't have money. Yeah. And so to the extent where they shot at him though.
Yeah, 3 times, not once.
And he remained.
Yeah.
How do you even, they got married, and wouldn't you be, how would you look at the uncle?
I don't know. To be honest, that is actually on another level, because when I think about it, right, and some of you guys will know the gentleman is Kus Charis, Nigerian businessman, and also a born again Christian as well, So I've heard the story before, and what he said at the time was that if you'd imagine him being, obviously young, almost like a tout, he had nothing. He was as poor as, whatever. And but then, like you said, the lady's family were from more like an upper class sort of. So they couldn't imagine her settling for such a man. Yeah. But he himself, he knew where it was going, although he didn't have anything. Yeah. So the fact that he kept going back, I think that's a testament to, someone said Chief Maduka. Yeah, that's right, Cosmos Maduka. That's his name. Yeah, the fact that he kept going back is a testament to his own tenacity. And I'm not surprised that he's successful, really. But I think the question that I'm asking you guys now is, I've put up my own hands. I don't know that, even the mention of the gun, the mention of a gun, I don't think I won't go back, So Timak, would you go back if someone shot at you for expressing an interest in their daughter? To me, I'll be like, well, it's your loss. If only you know what I have within me. I might not have anything right now, but if only you know what I carry. So would anybody go back? Any of the guys? I mean, there are a few guys online, and I think what I would also want to hear from the ladies, if I mean, of course, maybe not to that extreme, if you've actually had an experience of some sort of demonstration or an expression of love, not as what in quote foolish as that, but something that you're like, oh, this guy is, this guy is something else. From listening to it,
so T-Mac said that being poor is not a crime.
Yeah.
But the guy must have been a poor shooter. The uncle must have been a poor shooter.
Yeah.
And that maybe that was a test.
The fact that he shot, that's the point. Even if he shot in the hair,
oh god.
What if he ended up being a stray bullet?
Yeah.
So
T-Mac, you didn't answer the question though.
Yeah, don't worry. Lamide is taking her. We know that she can't go anywhere. But what would you have done if you had gone to your wife's place or your girlfriend's place and the family decided to shoot at you? Right? And for the single ladies in the house, how would you rate a guy that comes back after such an attempt on his life? Any thoughts on that?
I guess, so T-Mac said, was it a test kind of thing? And I guess in a sense, the fact that he came back, I'm only surmising that perhaps the family must be thinking, for him to come back, this must be, he must be really serious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was willing to risk his life, so
well,
that's serious.
Larry said,
he's running.
Of course, you run. I mean, don't test me that way. I don't think that's a very fair test, really. The fact that I say I love the person, I think is enough for them to.
I don't know. No, but I can understand that the family are wanting to check. If they're from upper class and he's not, or he doesn't have any money, how can they be sure that he's not a gold digger, or I don't know what the guy version is called?
Yeah. Well, you see it that way.
Not with the gun, but
Exactly. Now, so the question, and this is the question we're asking: is it true love or is it foolishness? I mean, I would imagine that a lot of ladies will be like, "Oh, so sweet," but that's if the guy made it, or thankfully he made it. It's only so sweet now that we can talk about the story. He's alive to tell the story. But I mean, is that wisdom, or would you think that is
prenup, not a pistol?
Exactly. Now we can. Okay, right?
It's true.
Let's say one day the girl can
shoot the man when she is married. Don't marry into a murderous family, or she'll be watching your back for the rest of your life. Ooh, that's interesting,
If an uncle can hold a gun.
Yeah, that's true.
If you have a little fight in the marriage, in fact, I think for him it's a case of this your uncle that has got a knife or a gun. Yeah. I cannot afford to mess up in this marriage, otherwise I'm just dead.
That's true.
True. See, people are agreeing with me. Who would go back? Even Beams. Even Beams. He says he won't go back.
I won't go back to the house. We will need to meet in public areas if I'm ever going to deal with the uncle again. No, you ban the uncle. But like someone said, if the uncle has a gun and is willing to shoot, is there a history of violence in the family?
Well, they have something to protect. And you know what would have happened? Because they are affluent, right?
Yeah.
They will shoot him and nothing will come of it.
Yeah.
But that's interesting anyway. We thought we just mention that and get some responses. Even though I didn't quite get any direct responses from the men.
No, Larry said he'll run. Bimbo said meeting public spaces. So Bimbo, you would stay. You're a brave man.
No, we know. I know Bimbo to be a brave man like that. I would find a way around it. obviously there are no emails at the time. There's no mobile phones, so you would have to physically find a way to connect with the lady, you know. And I think you must wait him for it.
Yeah,
you definitely
for
must
real,
wait him
for
for
real.
it.
For going back, you know.
I don't know that I would call that love though.
What do you call it? Foolishness.
I think I would put that down to foolishness.
If you were the guy's friend and he told you about that, what would you say?
Well, the simple answer is I would just, if he's a Christian, I'll tell him he's going to see his pastor. He needs some counseling, because I don't know. I mean, it's a difficult one. I mean, would I encourage him to keep going at the risk of his life in that way? But when I thought about it, I also saw a Christian, a biblical dimension to it. As you know, trust me, I'll find a Christian twist to it. When Bible says that that this is love, that a man should lay his life down for his brother, right? So until someone said, until you're willing to die for what you believe or love, then you're actually not really or fully committed to it. But so we say we love one another, but then it's actually in the test of it that determines the depth of one's real commitment, in that way. So
someone said they'll return fire.
so you carry your gun.
Oh gosh.
You carry your gun with you too. Well, anyway, we can I think we can just put that to bed in that. I don't think it's a wise move. But if I'd done it, how would you have interpreted it?
I would know my uncle, obviously, so I'd know whether he has a tendency to violence or killing people, whatever. But the fact that the guy came back, I think, okay, so this guy is serious, that actually he's not scared by dying, kind of thing. So he must be really persistent, kind of thing. So he must be genuine. I think I probably think, okay, he must be genuine. For him to continue, there must be some genuineness in it.
Okay, so it would take him going through that for you to believe that he's genuine.
No, I'm not saying that, but the fact that he did go through that and he came back, then I think, okay, it must be genuine.
Okay. Someone said they would use Zoom.
Yeah.
We're talking about 50 years ago. There was no Zoom. There was nothing to fall back on.
If it happened now, though, so he said if it happened now, when it's just them, they can meet. But when the uncle is around, they meet online.
Online. Okay. Anyway, that was just on a lighter note. Right. So today we actually just want to share some thoughts about the season. This time, normally, hi, Louisa. Hi.
Hello.
Great. Thank you, Louisa. By the way, I saw your comment from last week. That was quite encouraging to read. Thank you for that. Right. So this week, the other part of this week, we're talking about what we've titled Saving the Summer. And normally this time in the year, I don't know about you, but most people are probably thinking about, well, not even thinking, they are actually on their summer holiday right now. So maybe gone abroad, America, Asia, Europe. Some people say
Australia.
Some people say to go to Nigeria, but I don't know that's holiday. But so people have gone, different places. But now you can't really go to too many places.
You can go to a few places.
Yeah, but you can't. You can't really travel as imagine if you desire to go to India, for example, now, right? You'd have to change your plans, right? Now, if you want to go to Nigeria now, you can't really go.
No, you can't go to Nigeria.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to know if your plans have changed as a result of the lockdown, so if you've actually made any changes to your plan. For us, really, this year we had no intention of flying out anyway.
No, so this year was going to be a UK holiday.
Yeah.
So so the only thing is that we hadn't planned anything because we weren't quite sure what the summer was going to be like, what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So we haven't really planned anything. Though I've taken leave, but we haven't really decided where we're going to go. And obviously, it's about availability at the moment.
Yeah, but there's a scripture. I want to share a few thoughts. I mean, that came to mind as I was thinking about this, because the tendency is for us to really just let it slide and just lose out on what could potentially be a good summer, and then the summer is gone and there are no memories to look back upon. I was chatting with a friend earlier on, and I think he's online. I'm going to pull him in a little while. But let me just take a scripture that I just want to share very briefly. So actually, I mean, given the number that we have today, maybe a few people are on some sort of holiday. Because there are only 15 people that are joining us live right now. Anyway, so Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 and 2 says, "For everything there is a season, a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up what is planted." So essentially, this is telling us that there is a season for everything, right? And one of the things that God has done for us is the fact that every year there are 4 seasons, right? Typically. So you have your summer, you have autumn, you have winter, you have spring. So usually summer is when everything comes out, everybody's out there having fun and all that. And we've just gone on the weekend away with the kids, really, and we actually took them to safari
in the UK.
Safari in the UK, and it was good, but and it was quite packed as well. Surprisingly, there were a whole lot of people out there. So I wonder whether, for those of you that are online, whether you've made plans and you're actually looking to sort of do something over this summer break. Whether we like it or not, COVID will pass, right? COVID will pass. But I think I'm a believer in that. I don't let my circumstance or the circumstance I find myself in, hinder the things that I desire to do, pretty much. So if the idea was to do something grand, then maybe I'll do something, something less grand, something local, So any thoughts from people who've actually had to change their plans just to accommodate COVID? Did you have any plans of going abroad?
Are you still going abroad?
Yeah.
Is anyone going abroad? You were at Longleat Safari yesterday. Okay. We went to Woburn.
Yeah, Woburn. Yeah.
Woburn Safari.
Hey, Kola. Yeah.
Hello.
So I'm going to pull Kola in a little while. Kola is somewhere in Turkey enjoying the holidays there.
Yeah.
So any other person that has had to change?
Is anyone going away on holiday?
Yeah, or has had to change their plans because of COVID? Anyone? Is there anyone? All right. If there is no. Yeah, I know you're in Turkey.
Well done. Brave person traveling, flying.
I know, right? For me, I thought about it though, that if I'd planned to, if I planned to go to Turkey or somewhere abroad, right? Would I have changed my plans? So let's say I planned to go about this time in the year. Knowing me, I don't think I would have changed my plans. Well,
it depends. Though.
It depends. It depends on certain things, right? It depends on the where I'm going, right? If their infection rate is low and you could clearly see that they're in a better shape, I won't change my plans. And then it also depends on if I come back to the country, would I be asked to go on some sort of all those sort of thoughts?
Quarantine, yeah.
Okay, got cancelled. Oh wow. Okay. All right. Right. Okay.
It depends where. So, Dami, you travel. So I think people can't go to Nigeria yet. Is it closed? I think someone said it's closed to September.
No, Nigeria is definitely closed. So I'm going to invite Kola caller in to just give us some thoughts on the because they're actually in Turkey. It'd be interesting to hear from him what the experience is like.
On YouTube, anyone on holiday, planning a holiday, or have changed their plans for your holiday for this summer period, or even in the next few months?
Faith, are you going anywhere soon?
Or have you been somewhere?
So I'm just trying to get caller on. I want to have an interesting chat here. Okay, so caller, I'm trying to get you on for some reason. Oh, let's sit back. Let me just try and get him.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so caller isn't able to join. Why is that? Oh, you're supposed to start
off in Lagos, then France, then the US.
Whoa!
Wow!
Oh my God! Pardon?
Wow! All cancelled. Oh wow! Hope you managed to get your money back. I don't know. I know, like, so we were meant to go to Cyprus a few months ago, and when I tried to cancel it, initially British Airways was saying that they'd give us a voucher, but I wanted the money rather than a voucher, because you never know when next you're going to be able to rearrange and how the price is going to differ. So I arranged to get my money back.
Hello,
but I know some people that haven't.
Oh, hi, Pastor Banks.
Hi.
Hello, from Turkey.
Hi, folks. How's everybody?
We're all good. Hope you can hear on YouTube.
Yeah, it's really to hear. But just before we get into the chat with caller, so Faith says that she won't move an inch. I wonder why. You know, I mean, like, you should live. Life should be adventurous, I think. Anyway, yeah. So caller, so tell us, how is Turkey? I saw some photos. Exciting out there, is it?
Yeah, Turkey is exciting. At first, at the airport in Stansted, we were so shocked at the number of cars parked at the airport. We couldn't find a space to park. We struggled with the space. So that actually informed us that, I mean, there's a lot of people have traveled.
Yeah.
That, number one, encouraged us, say, okay, we're not alone in this boat. But I mean, just to say the truth, you know, like Fum said, you know, to Pastor Banks' question, that actually it all depends. You know, you can't just pick your bag and travel in COVID time. You have to really watch what's going on, you know, factor a lot of things in. So, I mean, for us, I looked at the COVID infection rate in Turkey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 10 times lower in terms of death rate and infection compared to the UK. I mean, the population of Turkey is 88 million, and they only have 5,000 death rates.
Wow.
And compared to the UK, 66 million, and we nearly have about 50,000 deaths. So you can see that, and they have large, you know, density, you know, in terms of the size of the land here. It's quite bigger compared to the UK, so they have more widespread of people. So it's less of congestion. So all those factors, you know, and then all depends on where you're going as well. So, I mean, we are in a very remote place in Turkey as we speak. It's a place called Bodrum in Turkey, the southwest coast of Turkey. It's near the Ephesus, and it's just border to Greece, one of the Greek islands. So it's quite remote. I mean, few people in the resorts, but it's not like so many people, and you have your own isolated apartment and building.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of everything going on here, I would say that we have not, you know, regret a bit, you know, for flying and coming down. I mean, just to say the truth, that a few pool is closed, and you know, and the you know, my son likes to go on the pool every an hour. If you allow him, we'll stay there all day. So he got a little bit disappointed.
Okay.
But But then the beach is just like 2 minutes walk from where we are. The beach around the whole resort, so that the beach is open and it's quite a blue, well, very very wide beach. So we're having fun there, and a lot of mountains around. There's a lot of places to go.
Yeah.
So we've not much. It's been really worth it. So
That's good.
I would say.
So did you plan to go to Turkey, or you hadn't planned it beforehand?
Yeah. So yeah, in order to kind of minimize cost, I always like to plan our holiday in advance, really very much in advance. And also our holiday home that we have around the world, you really have to plan ahead to get what you want to get. So we've planned this since February, including flights, cars, and all that. So it's been planned since then. And I sat down, I asked the kids, do you still really want to do this? And they said yes. They've been working so hard, and me and my wife, we've been working around the clock. I mean, working during the lockdown. I was working 12 hours, sometimes 24-hour shift.
Yeah, you both are
non-stop, round the clock for me. So I needed a rest. I just couldn't stay in the UK anymore. My wife, we just needed to get out, needed a new place to kind of just, unwind and just refresh and then come back.
Yeah.
See what God has asked for us again.
So, but were you tempted to really cancel it? Were you scared? Was there any element of fear in terms of, wow, I'm not sure about this. I'm taking my entire family, 3 kids, and all.
Yeah. I mean, I was to use that word. I was scared. I was like, it doesn't make sense. I mean, how could you be a father and you're running all this risk and also the kind of person you are? I'm very meticulous. I like to play by the book, fact and figures, black and white, play by the rules all the time. So, but I think this time I look at all the factors. I was a bit scared. I'm really scared, I would say. And but then I look around.
Okay, so
I sat down in my own time, and I just had to make a decision, looking at the pros and cons.
Yeah.
What we stand to gain, what is there, what is bad, what is not bad. Look at all the risks and factors. How safe can we make it? At the end of the day, it's about safety. It's about how you are able to do it and learning from the way things were done in the NHS. I mean, I was part of the people that planned the whole COVID thing within our trust in terms of, risk assessment. In the hospital now, we have what is called cold clinic. Probably from me. We have what is called cold and hot and cold. Hot is where people with symptoms will go in hospital. Cold is where people without any symptoms can go to their normal usual clinic. So, and looking at the way the flight has been planned, if you think about that, it's a cold clinic to me, because people who are not symptomatic are not allowed to travel. So if you're symptomatic, you're not allowed to travel. If you're symptomatic, then you can travel. So they do temperature check, they do thermal temperature. As you're walking down into the airport. They will check your thermal temperature, security, where you board and all that. So to me, it's a cold clinic. So you're sitting around people without symptoms. But then, people will argue, you might be asymptomatic and still have COVID. Nobody understands COVID. Let me just say, COVID, nobody understands it as it is at this time. Nobody. So, but all what we know, I mean, a lot of respiratory symptoms, taste, it's a lot of heart problem, a lot of vascular problem.
So, you don't know. Can I ask,
COVID.
Through the airport and on the plane, did you have to wear a mask?
you have to, like I said, we have to wear a mask. If you're inside the airport, they will come even very close to you and tell you off if you're not wearing a mask.
Okay.
And then throughout your boarding in the flight, you have to wear a mask 24/7.
Wow.
So what I planned was, there's a set of masks that is called FFP3, and that's what me and my wife wear. So my wife wear that in intensive care. I wear that in respiratory clinics as well. So we have that FFP3 white mask. So we actually wear the masks that have been tested for us. So you go through tests before you can wear that mask to find out the type of mask that is meant for you. So it's the mask that is meant for me that I'm wearing within the flight, and my wife, and the same type of mask that my wife is using is what we give to the kids. Okay. So everybody's wearing FFP3. So if you have COVID person around us, by the grace of God, we will not get it because we got the mask and Jesus.
So I would assume that so far, right, it's been worth it, right?
Oh yes,
that's
definitely.
Good. That's good to hear. But as a respiratory specialist, and this is actually calling your profession into this conversation now. So if someone wants to go on holiday, what would you advise them to do?
I think the first thing to do is to make sure that the location that you're going on holiday is their infection rate is not going up. It's actually plateau. For example, the infection rate in Turkey has remained the same since April. And I look at their graph. Go online, you see the graph. If you go to .gov.uk, they update it nearly every 2 days. And look at the dates to make sure they've updated it. So they update for every single country. So you will see the graph of their infection rate, and you can decide whether or not it's a good place. If the infection rate is going up, then it's not good. I mean, they're having surge in different kind of places. And for Turkey, the infection rate remains the same since April. So, and then also, it's better for you to look at their death rate. If death rate is quite high, then I think it's a very high risk place. So, and then also protect yourself. So it's about risk and protection. So try and manage the risk. You can't overcome all the risk, but try as much as possible to manage the risk. Get the mask, hand sanitizer. Make sure that you clean yourself. Anybody sneeze around you or any equipment that you're using, hand luggage or trolley. Make sure they are sanitized and things, and social distance. So, but if you look at those things about the country first, it kind of give you an idea whether or not to go to that place. And the government will give you a very clear, information about the place, whether they allow you to go in itself as well. And then the government law, I was watching whether Turkey was going to put as a quarantine kind of country when you return. So, and I make sure, like, I was praying that God, they put it, because my children would just kill me. So, no, they didn't put it in the end. So, thank God, we were able to say that, okay, it's okay for us to go. We'll not be quarantined when we come back. So, I think you can still go, but you just have to, look at all those things that I said.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem.
We won't take any more of your time. So enjoy the rest of your
holiday.
day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah. So is anyone else, after hearing that, willing to travel on a plane, go on holiday? Are you reassured? Are you more confident?
Faith, are you ready to go now? Ready to travel anytime soon? Anyone? Okay, as people are responding to that.
No thanks. Something no thanks.
Oh man. Oh, but I mean, so we're talking about saving the summer, right? Now the idea generally is that for me, one of the big things that I always think about is in any situation I find myself, particularly with the family, or if people are saying nope, here and there. Yeah. But for me, I'm thinking about, okay, well, I mean, every year of their lives growing up, there should be memories that one creates for this, for the children, at least. And you don't create memories. I mean, of course, you could be at home and create memories. That's true, But I think where I've considered all the facts, like Kola has in a sense. But again, it's God that protects, right? So someone said that you could actually be in your house because you are right in your house doesn't mean that you are less at risk to any form of fatality, you know. So I'm just of the view that I don't want anybody. I wouldn't want to put my life on hold because of COVID or any situation like that.
I guess even for those that don't have children, you know, to create memories, if you had planned to go somewhere and there are no consequences, like you're not going to be in quarantine or whatever, then maybe you should consider trying it. I don't know about Spain because I wouldn't want to be in quarantine when I come back.
No.
But for the places that have a low infection rate and so on, you know, might be worth going.
Yeah. Oh, so Kola then said that they have been, so they are positive. So does that means
they've had it? Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder, would that change your mind? If you were negative, would you have considered it a bit more risky? Or was the fact that you had the antibody and you were positive, did that kind of reassure you a little bit?
So whilst is answering that question, yeah, so a few thoughts about saving the season. I mean, number one, I think it's important to recognize the season that one is in at the moment. You know, I mean, 12 months is a long time in the year, given that we've all been almost in a lockdown situation. Because you're in lockdown doesn't mean that you're resting. Yes. You get, doesn't mean that you're, in fact, I think particularly those that have children, little children, you find that you are probably even more stressed in lockdown, you know. So that holiday season, one needs to find a way to still make the most of it, you know. So we recognize that number one, this season typically, yes, this is the holiday season, and I read the government. That's why somehow they're trying to make it possible for people to still be able to have some bit of summer in this time. So recognize the season. It's summer, and because lost time, once you've lost it, you can't regain it, right? Next year summer is a different summer. Yes, we can do other things next year, but I guess maybe because of the way I'm wired, also I don't want to look back upon the year and say, well, I couldn't do this because COVID wouldn't let me. Yeah, you know. So that is one thing. Number two is you want to realize the opportunities. I mean, Kola hasn't said, but we went away over the weekend, and I recognize that even in hotels, resorts and stuff like that, for sure there are opportunities to get bargains, right? There must be, of course. They want your business, right? So there would definitely be opportunity at this time to get some real good deals for places, of course, that are safe enough to be able to, vacation. And this is not only in relation to even just traveling abroad. This is in relation to many things. You know, I know people that in this time, for them, it's a case of, okay, well, this whole COVID experience has allowed them to save a lot of money. Yeah. Right? So now they recognize and realize that with house prices the way it is now, they can actually take advantage of this period to buy a house, move in, or do whatever they want to do now. But it's really just recognize the season one. Number two, seeing the opportunities that exist in that. Father said that my son's best friend family invited him to go with them next week. Oh wow.
They just came back from Portugal and they said it was fab. Wow, so, that family is a traveling family.
Yeah. So are you going to let him go? I think that's the question. Are you going to let him go? If not, you can send a replacement. Yeah. So recognize the season, realize the opportunity. But then thirdly, and I think this is the other thing, a lot of us would have to readjust our plans. So if Turkey is not going to happen, or if Spain is not going to happen, well, how about Wobon Safari up the road?
Or South Coast.
Or South Coast, or somewhere not too far away, but not to totally cancel the plan. Definitely you can rearrange or reorganize your your schedule to allow so for some sort of pulling away from the routines. Because what holidays do for you is that well, for those that really take holidays, right? It is almost like it pulls you away from your routine and allows you to just sort of do other things, so you're trying to
to turn them down nicely.
Oh wow! Imagine in this time you got a free holiday sort of.
Well, accommodation free. Maybe it's not free.
Okay, well let's just assume it's free, and then you're finding a way to turn them down nicely because of the condition or the circumstance that we found ourselves in. But I wonder whether if obviously are you turning them down because you fear what is likely to happen in terms of the exposure, the COVID,
because
of COVID, or just, I mean, if there was no COVID, how would you have reacted to it, to the invitation? It'd be nice to hear. Right.
Okay. So.
Okay. Whilst we are getting that response from Fadi, so you recognize the season, realize the opportunity, you rework your plans. But then, having done all that, there has to still be the element of taking that risk. Everything comes with a measure of a risk in itself.
I was speaking to someone and they just came back from holiday. So I said, oh, where did they stay? Did they go to a hotel? They said, no way. That they stayed in an apartment. I was like, oh, okay. Because, this was before we went away and we stayed in a hotel. Yeah. But actually, it felt fine. It felt okay. I mean, we didn't get the room service like we do usually, which was not great. But it was actually okay. A few things that have changed in the hotel, but otherwise it was a good break.
So what would have been for the person that got the apartment? I wonder what would have been different apart from the fact that the rooms are not being cleaned regularly. I mean, if the fear is that of exposure, right? I mean, before you moved in, somebody had come in to clean the rooms anyway. So anything could still have happened.
Yeah, but I guess in a hotel, you also have other people around. So you're exposed to other people. Whereas in an apartment, you are, if it's an apartment or a house or whatever, it's only you and your group, So there's no one else interacting with you. You could actually stay isolated in that one place without interacting with other people.
But are you going to go out?
Depends. I don't know what they did.
Okay. But I would assume that if you're on holiday, you go out as well. So which means you're still going to interact. Well,
it's fewer people, isn't it? You're limiting who you're interacting with.
Yeah. So I think my point is, I'm for, regardless of what, whether they stay in a hotel or they stay in an apartment, the good thing is they went out.
Somewhere. Yeah.
And this is the encouragement that we're bringing. We've actually just done one part of our holiday. So we're looking at
where we're going to go next. So any recommendations for where to go in the UK?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. So, the kids are, that's probably going to be a much longer one.
Yeah. So, yeah. Even as we were coming back today, because they're like, no, I want to stay here longer. And one of the, Daniel said one of his favorite things was their bed.
Imagine. Yeah. But at least the key point, like I said, is the fact that you're able to pull yourself away from the routine and just do the unusual, And I think it's priceless for me. It's whether you're married or single, it's just being able to do something different and capture some of those moments, in photos, leave memories. Emmanuel is inviting you to Manchester. To come and see you, or you are telling us about certain things that we could do out there.
What can you do in Manchester?
Yeah. So whilst we're still waiting for Friday and Emmanuel to tell us what you could do in Manchester. So in terms of saving the summer, I've said that you want to recognize obviously the season, right? Realize the opportunity, because there are really loads and loads of opportunities around us at this time. I if you're like me that like deals, anything that's a deal, why not? We just enjoy it.
But even, I was just thinking, even if you do, you are concerned about COVID, there are some things that you can do that are minimal contact. Like the safari was like you stay in your car and you can stay in your car and do the whole safari. So you don't actually have to get of your car.
Yeah.
And so that's something you could do and feel actually quite safe, secure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But from the way people are sounding, it looks like it will take a whole lot to get them out of the house. you know. I mean, anyway. Yeah. So the last point about saving the summer would be to enjoy. So I said, take the risk. Everything requires risk. I mean, at least a measure of it. But then, lastly, you want to enjoy the reward. There's a reward to it. You come back refreshed. Come back refocused. Come back energized. Yeah, I mean, because this is the 8th month now, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 months to the end of the year. For a lot of people, it seems like, all the plans are falling apart. Not a lot is happening. But the thing is, all it takes is just pulling ourselves away from the routines of life and being able to sort of at least get some clarity. And I think that taking a break or a holiday in this season, no matter how short, would help. Particularly if there are children in the house as well, even if it's just going somewhere local, if you're not going to travel abroad, I think it's quite useful. I mean, some of the children that have done exams recently, if possible, if you can afford it, it'd be good for them to have some break. So what did Fali say about
She said that there were a few reasons why she didn't want them to go. So the one, their dad is coming back soon. Also, in case there's another lockdown or unforeseen circumstances, she wants to play it safe.
Yeah. Okay, well, that makes sense. I think primarily the dad is coming down soon because, of course, they've not seen him in months, But overall, I think the point that we're getting across is that summer comes around only once, obviously, one period in the year. Winter is coming soon, and I don't know, not too many people look forward to winter in that way. And you don't want to be in winter wishing you had done something outdoors in summer. So the memories that we create in this season could be what would keep us through the next season. Nobody plans to be at home lockdown in this way. So at times, being at home to keep your sanity, what you even do is just thinking about the memories, the good things of the past. So encouraging you, be nice to hear your stories. I mean, I wish I was the one in Kola's shoe on the other side, but I mean, obviously, I had no plans to travel in this year anyway. But he just felt so relaxed, enjoying himself and his family out in Turkey. It'd be nice to hear of your own stories in coming weeks of what you got up to. But I'll leave us with a scripture that comes to mind. Matthew chapter 6, verse 25 to 28. It says, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life. So do not be fearful or worried about anything. This is what you will eat, or where you will go, or what you will drink, not about your body, what you will put on." So essentially that scripture is talking about the fact that life should not be lived out in anxiety and worry and fears. God doesn't want us to live out our lives that way. When we live out our lives with anxiety or fear, what it does is that it robs us of all of God's promises for our lives, and also puts us in a position whereby we are not we're not trusting God. What we're saying to God by allowing anxiety to rule or to reign is that God is not able to protect us. But we know that God is able to protect us, and God will keep you in all that you do. So, any thoughts, any questions? And that's us for today. If you have any thoughts to share, we always love to hear from you. Yeah, thank you, T-Mac, for that. Indeed, in these uncertain times, yes, we're trying to keep hope alive, have a great, enjoy ourselves, look on the bright side. So, wow, Fuyi, my friend, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see you. Must be a random one, but good to see you, Fuyi. Yeah. That's
So
good.
someone said they've made some fantastic memories and experiences during the COVID lockdown. It's been like a movie. Okay,
Yeah, I know.
that's good.
All right. So
All right then.
thank you all for joining in.
Yes. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, on YouTube, what did Louisa say?
She said, I think enjoying the summer as best as you can will do. Doing something different to my current routine, even as little as switching off. For me, it won't involve jumping on a plane, at least not for now.
Well,
But you can jump on the train or something.
yeah.
You can visit some different visit London. London's actually quite beautiful.
Yeah. So the summary of it all is save your summer, enjoy the most of it, and create memories for the future. God bless you. We'll see you guys again next week.
Bye everyone. Take care. Thanks for joining us today.
Bye-bye.